Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. US had a time change, so the live stream, if you're not on that whole US Canada time change thing, it seems like it's starting an hour later than usual, but no, it's not. Although this is a flexible start time, so my time it was supposed to start at 10:30 and it's 10:45 right now. So there's that. But anyway, so this is healing 2 of 3 in the set of 3 healings that we're doing with the theme End Negative Patterns, End Negative Patterns, Positive Change, and Clear Emotional Baggage, etc. And the 2 healings later this month on the 20th and 22nd, the November twin set, 2022, that is also End Negative Patterns, Create Positive Change, but that one has a sub-theme of clear family and fear baggage, etc. So it's a whole month about ending negative patterns and creating positive change, which I think is really nice for November. I'm liking that. Thank you everybody for your survey feedback. It definitely helped me to study results and plan today's healing and what we're going to do. I'm still waiting for confirmation that people can see and hear me. I think there was a confusion too, because I'm pretty sure I created the live stream at the last minute because I forgot the event. But then I thought I created it for 10:30 and then I checked and it said 11:30. So I don't know if YouTube switched on me because they're like, oh, silly you don't know there's a time change, or if I just clicked the wrong thing, which is always possible. Anyway, so hopefully people will figure this out and jump on. I'm going to have to watch myself on my phone to confirm that this is working because I don't have people replying yet. So I'm going to figure out where my phone is. Here it is. All right, let me see if I exist. Ooh, I exist. It says 6 are watching, but there we go. I exist. Oh, good. I got, thank you. We can see and hear you. Thank you. YouTube gave us a weird time. Yeah, I don't know. Usually I don't make a mistake like that that's like exactly an hour off. So I'm thinking it was some kind of a YouTube computer time change confusion thing. But whatever. Hope people make their way to the live stream. But anyway, really interesting stuff. We did some very cool stuff in the first healing 2 days ago. If you're just healing yourself and you find this live stream or later as a video, you don't have to do the full set of 3 healings or all 5 healings this month on End Negative Patterns and Create Positive Change, but of course you could. And if you don't know, in general, within a day after the live stream, I put in the comment section a detailed healing summary with timestamp links to all the things that we did. So you can jump around and, you know, like sometimes I'll get feedback where people are like, you know, oh, I didn't have a good attention span today, so I was trying to do the live stream video and I just couldn't focus. You know, and that might be a time where you pick and choose. You know, if you know your focus is like garbage, I mean, you could do the 4 essentials because maybe there's something with that would help your focus. But, you know, if you feel okay, you don't feel like destroyed, you know, maybe your 4 essentials are okay and you just don't have a lot of time or you're feeling impatient, you know, that could be a time to pick and choose with the timestamp links in the healing summary. Food for thought there. We did two things, I think, well, three things from the Friday healing that I just wanted to highlight. There was this one where you imagined negative patterns that you're caught in from past lives, and then we did it also negative patterns that started in this life. But you don't have to know what they are. You just imagine the negative pattern as like 4 walls around you. So like you're in this room just going round and round and round, and you surround the 4 walls with gold light and you lift them off and you hand them to your angels. And we did that a bunch, and then we did it for patterns, negative patterns from this life, and lifted those 4 walls off and gave them to the angels. And that helped a lot. So if you missed that, and you know, it's in the timestamp, it's in the, you know, healing summary of that first video. I'll link it below later as well in the comment section, that live stream, the first healing. But it's labeled as the 4 walls exercise, something like that. Also another thing that I think was of bigger impact that we did in the first healing was imagining your commitments to yourself and your commitments to other people, and realigning, rebalancing that, so with lots of gold light, so that you don't have like so many commitments to others, and like you don't have any more strength or willpower or energy for any commitments to yourself or your physical body. So if we just ran gold light through them all so that it kind of rebalanced in a healthier way. So I thought that was big, looked to be big. And then the other thing that I would say is bigger of the things we did was neck and shoulders work. We lifted off a lot of junk from the neck and shoulders, and we healed and repaired the energy centers within the neck and shoulders. So we may do some neck and shoulders work again today, but that's on the maybe list for today. Also on the maybe list is the the 4 walls, repeating the 4 walls exercise and lifting off those walls that represent old negative patterns. So we'll see. Another thing we did on Friday, the angels are reminding me of, is we healed the part of, we imagine a part of you that was least open to positive change, right? Because this theme, we're trying to create positive change in our lives. And subconsciously, you can have lots of little parts of you that don't feel the same way as you do feel consciously. Or you could feel consciously kind of resistant to positive change, even though part of you knows it's going to be a good thing because it's positive. So we healed those parts of you. You imagine like the part of you that's most resistant, most stuck to change, like, no way, this sucks, and just give her a healing, give him a healing. Yeah, this little mini part of you. So we did that a bunch of times, and interesting in the surveys, 2 different people, part of what they mentioned showed me that they have a confusion between parts of themselves that are resistant to change. One person thought it was like some of their inner child parts, and another person, yeah, actually both of them. One of them thought, was like, well, I'm having trouble integrating, or I'm still working on integrating the 4-year-old part of me. And the other person was just like, yeah, I had these inner child parts of me that were protesting after the healing because they didn't give us permission to change all that. And the thing is, inner child parts probably aren't that like explicit, like, hey, you can't change, la la la. I mean, maybe, and you could heal them and they get better and they pixelate and come, and you just, it's your energy again, it's not separated out. But if it's really stubborn like that, it's probably just an invasive being or several invasive beings posing as parts of you. Some people experience that, like, you know, like if they want to go to the gym to work out and part of them is like, no way, we don't want to go to the gym. That's a terrible idea. that actually could be just an invasive being. So you could line up all the invasive beings, if there are any, just do it. Just you can't go wrong, just have lining up, imagining, if there are invasive beings that are, adding to your resistance to change, and, having them recycled. So we're definitely going to do that today. But I wanted to mention that out loud in the intro too, just to emphasize that you can have parts of you that are really your energy stuck from the past, something that happened in the past, that are resistant to change, but those are healable, totally healable. Like, even just you look at them, you heal them, you ask your angels to finish it up, they're now healed, and that part of you just joins you. So if it's super, super stubborn like that, there's probably at least a couple invasive beings playing head games with you, posing as like your 4-year-old child, or yourself, your 4-year-old self, or whatever, so just a heads up, and you can just have your angels say, angels, please recycle those invasive beings. And that's nice. Definitely stuff that we're going to do today, because I talked about what we might do, but definitely what we're going to do is work non-resistance, because I noticed the people that were doing the best after the Friday healing had a decent amount of non-resistance going, and the people that did so-so and just average, like better but not great, and then so-so, they were stuck in more inner resistance. So we'll pinpoint energy blocks that are kind of creating the inner traffic jams of resistance and clear those especially. So we're definitely going to work non-resistance. Also, the people that did really great with the Friday healing, they had really good magnetic alignment. And so we're going to do magnetic alignment of chakras, of the major chakras, which is very easy. It's a sort of an extra thing you do after regular chakra alignment of your major chakras. So we'll do both of those things, chakra alignment and magnetic alignment of the magnetic fields of the major chakras. We'll do that for sure. We'll also for sure do chakra filament healing and unblocking, and those are the connections between your major chakras, physical 7 major chakras, and astral 7 major chakras, the good cords that you have connecting your physical to your astral major chakras. And again, I noticed the people that were doing really well, their chakra filaments were way more clear than the other people. So that we're going to do too. And there is, of course, this list is pretty long, so we'll see. This is what I intend to do today. But you can always check the detailed healing summary in the comment section to make sure what we actually did. We may do something overtly to clear confusion and sort of like an analysis paralysis, where you're like, why am I feeling this way? Is it because this person in my life, blah, 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 and what can I do to fix their life? And, or is it really this, or la, 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 la? Like they're just kind of stuck in studying themselves, but not really healing themselves and taking action. It's just sort of like this sort of why. So we may do something with that if I don't see that it resolved by doing all the other things, the non-resistance and the magnetic alignment and the chakra filaments and all the 4 essential work. So we'll see. That's we'll do if it's needed, is clear confusion and or that sort of analysis paralysis thing. And I did notice some people, especially the people that didn't really feel big improvements, and felt very like sort of their second and first layers of their astral and physical body auras were really tight. So those 2 layers have auras, like have layers to them, like layers of an onion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so the inner ones can get really compressed sometimes, and so it's good to unblock them so they're as flowing as the outer layers, because that helps you be more present in your lower chakras. because the lower chakras are the ones that make those inner layers flow. And if they're so compressed, it's like these chakras have to work too hard, and then it's really hard to be present in those chakras. So, so we'll see. That's another one of like, we'll see if it's needed once we do all that other work. We'll do explicit unblocking of those inner aura layers. Emotions, that's supposed to be a sub-theme of this whole triplet set. So we will probably, unless I see that the non-resistance and everything else kind of did a lot of it already, we will probably overtly do emotional work, like healing inner wounds and clearing blocks that relate to, you know, emotional stuff you're stuck on that's in the way of positive change and any negative patterns. So we'll see about that one. Also on the maybe list, this is the last one I'll mention, we may do more shoulder work. We did do shoulder work 2 days ago, and it seemed to be pretty effective. And shoulders, having good flow in the neck and shoulders does help you manifest and, you know, create positive change. So we'll see. All right, so I'm going to catch up on comments, and then we'll have like 3 minutes of quiet as I get going and finish prep and start the healing. And then the rest of the time when I do the healing, I'll talk out loud, so it's an all levels walkthrough at the same time as being a healing of me healing all these people that purchased the healing in advance 2 months ago on my website. Speaking of which, in 9 days, on the 15th, that's when the January healings go up on my website for sale. They go up at a set time, which is posted on my website. And they sell out within, I mean, the January healings will probably sell out within 10 minutes to a few hours. Like the triplet set will probably sell out in like 10 minutes or less. And then the twin set will sell out within a few hours. The twin sets are really hilarious because they're very powerful healings, but since they're 2 instead of 3, like a lot of people charge for the triplet, and they're like, oh, the twin set is less than that. You know, they don't like really acknowledge like, oh, do I need this healing? You know, because they see 2 healings versus 3 healings, and they kind of get caught up in that. Like, it was really funny, the December healings when they sold, because later in the month in December, so many people need healings. It's like amazing. Because, you know, like there are a lot of family holidays, religious holidays, family dramas, etc. Around that time. And yet the December twin set took like, I don't know how long, but probably an hour or 2 to sell out. Which is, again, like people were just thinking 2 healings versus 3. Okay, I want the 3 healing. The 3 healing's better. And then they didn't even consider like, well, do I also want the 2 healing one? Because, I mean, you know, obviously enough people bought it, but it's just funny. So what I would say is try to not get too hung up on 2 healings versus 3. I mean, if you have somebody who's never gotten a healing before, sure, 3 healings instead of 2 is ideal for them. But if you get these healings somewhat regularly, it's not that big a difference between 2 healings and 3, because you're very open to what's done in the healing, and so you don't have to have that level of repetition. So like if that time of the month is better for you, or the theme is better for you, or obviously both sets are better for you and you can afford it, then, you know, sorry, just, I don't know if that helps saying that, but maybe it does. All right. Janet, I can see and hear you. Hello from Ireland. Hello to you. Hey, Janet, we can see and hear you in Chicago. The invasive beings remind me when they show a person in movies have a good angel on one shoulder and the mean one on the other shoulder. Yeah, you know, that is interesting, that shoulder thing that you see in like cartoons or movies where there's a bad angel on one shoulder, or like a devil on one shoulder. The only thing I do see on an energy level that relates to that, I mean, some things in cartoons and videos and movies, there's like it's sort of echoing an energy reality that is happening, but that one is not really happening. But I have seen that on the right shoulder, If someone is very deceptive, they tend to have a lot of heavy energy here. They may have like a mirror kind of a thing in front of it, but they'll have a lot of like dark, heavy energy here if they lie a lot or they're deceiving like in a major way. They'll have a lot of like heavy, dark right here on the shoulder, you know, kind of like that whole the devil on one shoulder thing. But it's not beings, it's literally just a lot of blocked energy. But for some reason, the whole dishonesty thing, it tends to show up right here. So that's fun fact, I guess. Someone says, hello from Evergreen, Colorado. A little warmer today, 36 degrees and cloudy. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's a little nippy. Hope you put lots of layers on. Yeah, we're gonna have, that's gonna be our temperature like next, starting I think tomorrow for about 5 days. We'll have, but no, we'll have daytime temperatures in the 40s, but we'll go below freeze, just below freezing at night for 5 days. But there'll be no rain for those 5 days, so that's the upside. But anyway, I have my sunlight lamp, my light therapy lamp on me right now, even shining. And I mentioned that in the first healing. I definitely recommend those if your climate is not very sunny right now. They're really good for your brain, like circadian rhythms and whatever, and quality of sleep and yada yada. Okay, cool. Now I will finally be quiet for about 3 minutes as I finish my prep and start the healing in silence. And then I will talk and the walkthrough will happen. Yeah. So if you have a healthy beverage, this would be a nice time to enjoy it. Well, you won't be talking later, so you can enjoy it the whole time. I will enjoy my healthy beverage right now. Oh, and my healthy beverage today is honeybush tea, which I have a lot. Probably have it too much, but the good thing about it for me is it's very neutral, like for me, as far as heat, like inner heat. So it doesn't make me cold or hot internally. So that's really important for me. So that's why I keep drinking it. Like decaf black tea is sort of neutral like that for me, but decaf black tea tends to not be nice to my intestines totally. So it is very, honeybush tea is very gentle for my intestines. All right, I'll shut up now. For 3 minutes. So thank you for your patience with my quiet time. All right, thank you for waiting. So when you heal yourself, you can use a copy out in front of you and use your hands to heal yourself. That's what I'm doing, so that's what I'll be doing throughout this walkthrough. If you can't move your hands for some reason, say you're in a public place, you could create like 1,000 gold suns shining inward on you, all around your auras, so that you have enough ambient gold light, so that you can just, with your mindfulness, kind of relax different places to unblock and repair. But moving hands is very nice because your hands do generate a lot of gold light, and so you could use a copy out in front of you and really target the healings that you're doing on yourself. So you have a big energy center in the palm of each hand and also in your fingertips. So your hand chakras, your fingertip chakras, and you can set these with your intention to be a metallic gold color. So the big one in the palm of your hand, set it to metallic gold, and then the one in each fingertip, set those to metallic gold. And that way, when they spin, they're naturally generating energy at that metallic gold vibration. So that's the vibration, that's the color of energy that you're generating, which is a nice, it's fast moving, but not too fast. And so it's good for repairing and letting go. So you make a copy out in front of you of, if you want to use your hands, you make a copy out in front of you of all your auras, your 17 auras. You have your physical body aura, your astral body aura, and then your 17 Wei Chi auras, W-E-I-C-H-I. Wei Chi auras. Wei Qi is a traditional Chinese medicine concept. It's your inner defenses energy, so strong boundaries energy. And the angels said to me there are 15 auras that generate that energy for you. So those are your Wei Qi auras. So you have 17 auras. Astral, physical, and then 15 Wei Qi auras. And then within that, you have your physical body, your astral body, and then also you have 2 groundings that connect you to the core of the earth, your physical body grounding and your astral body grounding. So let's go ahead and do grounding work right now. This is the start of that 4 essentials work we always do at the start of each healing, grounding or repair of the 17 auras, repair of all major and minor chakras, and also chakra repair, creative ring repair, and unblocking. So those 4 things I call your 4 essentials because they're really good at getting you pretty good, well functioning again. So we start with those. That's sort of the foundation of what we're doing, and then we build on that with all the other techniques to do more with the theme. So grounding, just make a big wide grounding, red or orange or yellow in color. You don't have to see energy, see the color of it. You just, with your intention, you pick one of those 3 colors and make your grounding that color. Make it nice and wide as your aura. So it would be about this wide, if the palm of the heel of the palm of your hand, if you were to stretch out your arms. And keep it that wide all the way down to the core of the earth. So you run go light through your copy of your grounding. And you use gold light to melt away the blocked energy. And I mentioned a few times in the healing 2 days ago, in order to create significant positive change, to end your negative patterns, you need to do things differently. You know, even subtle things differently, like unblock your grounding twice as much as you usually do. It doesn't have to be twice as long, but just, you know, you round up twice as many energy blocks and melt them away. Or you notice, you know, those extra people that hang out in your grounding and you're like, nope, not gonna happen anymore, and just wash them out with gold light. So you're sort of, you just have this intention, you're gonna have even more presence and flow. Because that presence and flow then translates into being able to bring in other types of positive change. So you just imagine if your grounding is blocked at all, you know, maybe sometimes it's at the bottom, like sort of a plug in the tub, plugging up the draining action of the tub. So you just find the plug, find those energy blocks that are plugging up your grounding, and just melt them away with lots of gold light. And again, round up the energy blocks in your grounding and just melt them down with gold light. Okay, so then indie grounding. Indie grounding is related to grounding, where you check the outer perimeter of your grounding and you melt away any branch off parts that are sticking out. They could be connections to other people's grounding. They could also be hard objects that people have thrown that are kind of stuck halfway in your grounding. And so just melt those away, any hard objects, and melt away any connections to other people's grounding. Even if, you know, you have a son or daughter or something, their grounding works best when it's not hooked into yours. So go ahead and wash your kids out of your grounding. And just, you know, you can say hi to them on a spirit level and just say, hey, you know, if you ground directly to the core of the earth, like a big strong tree, it's going to help you have a good day. Okay, great. So that was indie grounding. So now we'll do aura repair of your 17 auras. So you just imagine a copy of your auras out in front of you, and you can start to imagine, like, where are the rips? You know, sometimes they could be up top, they could be in front of your stomach area, they could be in front of your face, they could be behind your head, behind your shoulders, behind your lower back, you know, anywhere, obviously, in the sides. But sometimes it's interesting to sort of get a sense of what's been going on. You get a sense of where the rips are. And you could manually heal them like that, just, you know, getting a sense of, intuitively or visually getting a sense of the rips and using gold light from your hands and mending them up. But I'm going to use a technique, and you can use it too, called composite copy technique. So you just make a composite copy. It looks like one rip, but it represents all the rips in your auras that you need to repair right now. So it looks like one rip, and just wash it out with lots of gold light. And it's easy to get junk piled up in the rips because they're leaking energy, so it attracts invasive people and invasive beings. So just, you could use sticky gold wax, which is gold light from your hands that then hardens around something that's not you, so you lift it out as a big chunk and give it to your angels. So you have your composite copy rip, and you fill it up with sticky gold wax, and it sticks to whatever's not you in this rip. And you lift all that out as a big lump and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. You do that again. Sticky gold wax in your composite copy rip. Lift all the junk out as a lump. Angels, here you go. And then now you can, the rip should be pretty cleaned out, so you can do a complete repair. Just lots of gold light and it'll grow back. And you may still have a few rips that are a little more stubborn, so you can make a composite copy just of the rips that are still not repaired, and do the same process again. So fill it up with sticky gold wax, have the wax harden on the junk, lift it all out as a lump, and just here you go. One more time, sticky gold wax through this, in this rip, and lift out the junk that's not you all at once. Angels, here you go. And then more gold light just to repair this rip that represents those rips that are still there. All right, good. So that's aura repair. And then we'll do the related things, like we'll melt away aura scarring and aura bruising. So aura scarring is hardness at the outer surface. Aura bruising is more internal in those regular auras. Could be a couple layers at once, just some hardness. So just put copies of all your aura scarring and all your aura bruising just in a big pile and melt it with gold light. Keep breathing, because this is a shift for your body and you as a spirit to adjust as all this stuff melts. It's a good shift, but it's good to breathe. And you can make another pile of any remaining aura scarring and aura bruising that hasn't melted away yet. And go ahead, you could say, angels, can you help me melt this? And go ahead and melt the aura bruising and scarring. By melting it, you're making your aura more flowing and more strong. All right, good. And we'll do sticky gold wax through your everything, all your auras and your physical body, astral body, and your groundings. So sticky gold wax, especially around the outer surface in case you have hard objects stuck anywhere, and but also inside, because you could have hard objects inside. Sticky gold wax your grounding as well, your physical body, your astral body. And we're going to use this wax to stick to what's not you and remove it all at once, right? So keep the copy of you in place and move out what's not you with the wax. So just lift all that out and move it away. Angels, here you go. Hand it to your angels. And one more time, sticky gold wax on all the outer surfaces of your grounding and your auras and all the inner places. So it sticks to anything that you want to get rid of, hard objects, evasive beings, evasive people, etc., energy blocks. And the copy of you is going to stay in place, but everything that's not you that you're moving out is you're gonna move it out. So move that out. Angels, here you go. Couple deep breaths. And check your grounding. And just imagine blocks and unblock them, melt them away. Especially in the back. Okay. Creative ring repair is the next in the 4 essentials. All right, so creative rings are up here. They're just above your astral body head, and they look like 3 gold rings, and they generate gold light, send it downward. So it really helps your 7th chakra and all your 7th chakra functioning. So confidence, focus, identity, goals, all sorts of good stuff. But it also can send gold light. That gold light can also permeate all your major chakras along your spine. So just create a copy of your 3 gold rings out in front of you, and you want to repair them and unblock them with gold light. They can have cracks or just be shattered in places, and so you just use so much gold light that they grow back. And as you use this gold light, you melt cords, of course, going into your creative rings. And what that does is it helps the flaps to relax. So if you were to look from a top-down view of your creative rings, the flaps are like this, and this is an irritated bunch of flaps. Once you melt the cords and unblock enough and repair enough, they should fall shut. And so then you won't see them stick out like that. They'll just be really smooth with the surface of the outer surface of the ring. So you want to melt cords and unblock enough so that those flaps shut. So if you're ever overwhelmed, chances are your flaps are open in your creative rings. And so that's one thing you could take care of. Because when your flaps are open, it's really easy for beings and people to cord there and send a lot of energy there, which then overwhelms your 7th chakra and everything else. So again, we're doing creative rings. You have a copy out in front of you, and you just use as much gold light as you can. Just relax, though. Try to relax as you do it. Think about your hips, your shoulders. Feel that. The energy blocks can kind of stack up above just above your rings, or stack up inside the rings. So you can just imagine the stacks of hard energy blocks and melt them away. So this would be unblocking your creative rings. Just imagining the energy blocks around. You know, sometimes I talk about like you can have hard energy around your creative rings, and a lot of times that's because you have some cords going in, sending energy in, and then all that surplus energy has to go somewhere, so it tends to form like a shell around. So if you keep finding like blocks around your creative rings, it's more of a cord issue, like a symptom of a cord issue where you just have energy coming in, and then it just has to go somewhere. So it blocks up your 7, then it creates these walls around your creative rings. So moral of the story, melt cords with gold light. But unblocking is really important too, like melting the energy blocks, because it's the energy blocks that create the rigidity that allows people to cord in the first place, or beings to cord in the first place. So you do both. You melt the cords, but you also melt energy blocks. some people think like, well, what's the point of this healing if I'm gonna feel good, but then later it's gonna get all messed up again? And the thing is, when you're more present, like that work we just did on creative rings, it gets you more present, and then you can like learn by being more present. You can bring in new energy about, you know, change you want to manifest. You can have conscious realizations about things. And so even if you get just as stuck later, hopefully you remember some of those realizations, or you stick with some of the new habits that you started, or you know, you're still like different in some kind of a lasting way. So you brought in some new change, and that, you know, you're still with that new progress that you had. So even though you have to keep redoing 4 essentials and fixing stuff up again, uh, it's not as if it's like, you know, you keep going back to zero again. You know, you are making progress. It's just that continued maintenance is required to keep making progress. So, does that make sense? So that was creative ring repair. So, and a little speech about what the point is of it all. And then chakra repair is what we'll do now. Chakra repair of all major and minor chakras, which is a standalone video as well. There's a standalone on creative ring repair. There's a standalone on chakra repair, little 11 to 14 minute videos that I link below in the comment section. Later within a day. Okay, so chakra repair, you just imagine a open cylinder shape. So like this is a cylinder, and there's a round opening, and if it were a chakra, there would be a round opening right here too, and not a bottom that's hard. So, but anyway, so it's cylinder and then 2 round openings, right? A round open cylinder, and well, an open cylinder. So you make this composite copy that represents all your major and minor chakras in your body and your astral body. And you use gold light from your hands to repair and unblock and melt cords. And major chakras are the 7 astral body and the 7 physical body chakras along your spine. The minor chakras include all the acupuncture points everywhere in your physical body, as well as some other really cool chakras, like chakras in your shoulders and neck that keep good flow. Anyway, so you imagine this open cylinder shape, and you keep repairing it to repair all of your major and minor chakras. And melt cords. So then we can do more unblocking specific to this theme. So ending negative patterns, you can have energy blocks in your chakras that keep you kind of stuck in that negative pattern. So just lift out the energy blocks that relate to negative patterns that you want to get rid of. Lift out those energy blocks. And if you're healing yourself, you can just blow up the energy blocks. But also an option is you can lift out the energy blocks and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So lift out energy blocks related to your negative patterns. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So again, we're healing and repairing and unblocking, melting cords from your major and minor chakras. Using this one copy that represents all your major and minor chakras. The energy blocks can be around the cylinder part. They can be blocking the round openings. They could be inside the cylinder part. Oops. So any energy blocks that are blocking you from having positive change, just lift those out. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Again, any energy blocks that are blocking your positive change in your chakras, just lift out those blocks. Angels, here you go. And of course, your intention is you want to do as much as is healthy and gentle to do right now. Lift those blocks out. Angels, here you go. Lift out the energy blocks. Angels, here you go. Clearing emotional baggage. A lot of those blocks are in the second chakra specifically, but there are some, there's like a meridian that relates to emotions, and emotions can also be like heart chakra baggage, you know, that makes you feel depressed, but it's really a heart chakra issue. So we'll just, you know, when we're working all the chakras, lift out emotional baggage, any baggage affecting your emotions, any blocks affecting your emotions, lift those out. Angels, here you go. Again, any blocks bringing down your emotions, lift those out. Angels, here you go. And of course, melt cords as you go with gold light. Okay, good job. So that was chakra repair and unblocking in general and for the theme. So those are the 4 essentials that we just finished. So let's do, again, the 4 walls exercise. We'll repeat that. We did it 2 days ago as well. So, and we'll do it like we did last time with, first, we'll get rid of past life patterns and then from this life. Meaning some of the stuck patterns that you're in, these negative patterns, they started in, you know, like 4 lifetimes ago or 10 lifetimes ago or just in your last life. An example of one could be comfort eating. It could be that for the last, like maybe in your most recent male lifetimes, you haven't had comfort eating problem, but in your most recent female lifetimes, you have had comfort eating problems. When you're having a male lifetime versus a female lifetime, because of the biological things, you know, stresses of, you know, raising kids, for example, or the social pressures or social training of, you know, one experience versus another experience, it may affect you in a certain way. So there might be, you know, in a male life, in your male lives, maybe you have issues with confidence, but you don't in your female lives, you know, it's just depending on the person. And of course, it's not to say that, you know, I don't mean to invalidate people that don't go with their biological gender in this lifetime, that feel like they want to identify as a male, even though they were born with female anatomy. That's a whole interesting thing. I mean, it's totally valid, but you still may have had, you know, some social pressures when you were growing up as you were identifying as one gender before you switched and other people acknowledge you as the other gender. So, you know, then you might have couple extra issues, you know, just because of society's drama around it all. But, you know, I don't mean to be like invalidating that choice that people have if they want to not be stuck on their their biological gender. But anyway, it's just an easy way for me to read, like people's biological gender in different lifetimes. It sort of stands out to me. So anyway, long story short, we're gonna do negative patterns that you got stuck in your past lives first. So that was explaining, and the big aside about people who want to be non-gender, or people who are transgender and they don't go with their biological gender. Nothing wrong with that in my mind, so I don't mean to imply there is something wrong with it by referring to biological gender so much like I do. But anyway, okay, so now the doing part. So it's easy. You just imagine a mini you and like a little version of yourself out in front of you, and imagine some past life patterns, negative patterns that started in various past lives that would be really good for you to clear right now. You're totally ready. It'd be a super healthy thing to do and give you great results. And so just imagine those negative patterns and the stuck energy that keeps you in those patterns as 4 big walls around you. So it's like you're in this room and you keep going round and round rather than going forward. So you just imagine those big 4 walls representing the stuck energy holding you in these negative patterns, and just use so much gold light and get it underneath the walls and around the walls and inside the walls. And so what you're going to do is, with all that gold light around it, you're going to just lift out these 4 walls and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Okay, and then you can do it again. Imagine when you can give that part of you a healing too while you're at it. Just lots of gold light for this mini you that you're imagining. And then let's do it again. So imagine negative patterns that started in past lives for various reasons that would be really, really good to get rid of now. And imagine the stuck energy perpetuating those patterns as 4 walls around you, and just use gold light, get underneath the walls, around the walls, in the walls, everywhere. And then just use that gold light to lift out the walls completely and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And give that little mini you another healing. And so that was for past lives. So then let's do some patterns that started at some point in this life. And you don't have to know what the patterns are. Maybe an example of one is like, procrastinating. Maybe procrastinating about certain types of tasks, or maybe having like a really snippy attitude, like snapping at people verbally, being really crappy. But maybe you don't even notice it. Like you don't hear your own tone, but other people hear it, and it's sort of not a pleasant tone that you're using. So that could be a negative pattern that started, an example of a negative pattern that started in this life. So go ahead and just imagine a mini you and any patterns, negative patterns that you're in that started in this life, and just imagine them as 4 walls around you, and that's the stuck energy that perpetuates those negative patterns. And just surround them in gold light, surround the walls in gold light, and especially under the walls, and just lift the walls up and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And you can give that little mini you a healing with gold light, maybe with some red earth energy from the core of the earth, and then orange earth energy, and then yellow earth energy from the core of the earth for this little mini you. Just say to that part of you, hey, it's okay, it's okay. Good job. And then again, let's imagine more negative patterns that you may be in, and you don't even have to be conscious of what they are. Just be like, okay, whatever negative patterns I'm in that started in this life, and just imagine the stuck energy perpetuating those patterns as 4 big walls all around you, and use so much gold light, get underneath the walls, around the walls, so that you can then just lift up the walls really easily and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And give that little mini you another healing. Say, good job, good job. Let's do it one more time. And then again, just imagine any negative patterns that would really, really, really help you to get rid of, and they started in this life. And just imagine the stuck energy, perpetuating that as 4 big walls around you. And just use gold light and get underneath the walls and in the walls, around the walls, so that you're going to be able to lift them up really easily. Lift them up and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And then give that little mini you a healing. Say, hey, good job, very good. And maybe some red earth energy from the center of the earth, and then give this part of you a yellow earth energy from the center of the earth, and orange earth energy from the center of the earth. I mixed up my order. And then more gold light. All right, good job. Woohoo! So you can just get rid of that little mini you. All right, great job. So that was the 4 walls exercise. All right. So let's do that commitment to self and others that we did 2 days ago in the first healing. Rebalance the commitment between self and others. Let's repeat that again. It's really quick, so that'll be easy. So you just imagine 2 piles. I mean, you can do it some other way, but this is a simple way. Imagine one pile that represents all your commitment to yourself, including you as an eternal soul, but also your physical body. So your commitments to yourself, and then another pile that represents your commitments to other people. And just use gold light and heal both of those piles. And with your intention, and just say, angels, help me do this, just rebalance them a little bit. So, well, enough, so that it's a very healthy balance. So you have enough energy to really commit to your own care and your own safety, your own wellness, and your own positive change. Because that's the thing with positive change, you have to tweak things. You can't just be like, okay, I want to change, and not change anything at all. You have to tweak things. You have to find ways that you can change and improve, and that all gets you with your forward momentum towards your positive change. So this is one way. It's just rebalance your commitments to yourself and your commitments to others. Just wash out any junk in these piles that doesn't belong there, that's maybe making you too martyry. Just melt away anything that doesn't belong there. And use the gold light to just rebalance these commitments. So that you can have compassion and empathy for others, but also for yourself. All right, good job. So that was rebalancing your commitments to yourself and your commitments to others, so that it's a healthier balance, so that you can create positive change for yourself. All right. I'm going to look at a sample person for a second, so I'll be quiet for a minute. Okay. Thanks for waiting. So I was looking at a sample person. The angels pointed out to me, and he gets his adult daughters get him and his wife healings. They all get healings. So the two daughters and the parents get healings each time, and he has a problem with being irritable and verbally unkind to his wife. He gets crabby. And part of what's going on is he has inner resistance, like there's this inner resistance, some repressed anger as well, but he has this inner resistance, and he's confused, and he thinks the reason he doesn't clear his inner resistance, because it's no fun to be pissed off all the time, right? But with all these healings, why doesn't he clear more inner resistance? Part of it's because he has this inner confusion, and he thinks that's his identity. And this is not super uncommon. Some people, they confuse inner strength with resistance. Like I'm gonna fight, everyone's gonna pay for the injustices they've done to me, and so they think that that's their strength. They think that that's who they are. And it's not true. Nobody's pure form of spiritual identity is resistance. I mean, you can be a champion of civil rights or a champion of, the underdog or whatever, but your true essence is flow. Your true strength is in flow. Your true strength is not in this, like inner resistance, right? But sometimes, like I said, sometimes people think, well, but I'm being strong if I tighten up. The problem is you just get so weak, because the tightness is not strength. And so then it affects your boundaries, and you have bad boundaries, and then all of a sudden you're being mean to your wife or your husband, or, it's affecting your immune system, for example. So what we're going to do is we're going to, as part of getting more non-resistance and more strength, so that you're ready to manifest, positive change, we're going to clear resistance out of your identity space. Resistance that is from blocked energy. So we're not like doing some bad voodoo on your identity, we're just clearing blocked energy that's really resistance, that's causing inner resistance. We're clearing that out of your identity space so that you can be more in tune with the more pure form of your identity, which is strength and flow. You could still, be a fight for voting rights. Please vote, by the way. If you're in the US, please vote. But anyway, you could still, have a quest, but then you're gonna have more flow with it. You're gonna have more strength and a better immune system along the way, and possibly a better mood, which is good. So I hope that makes sense. We're going to clear blocked energy and resistance out of your identity space. Okay, so how are we going to do that? So many ways we could do it. The angels are showing me an example, so hold on. Okay. The way the angel showed it to me with the sample person is she had this big block of like ice and rock, and her identity energy had gotten stuck with all that resistance. And it was supposed to be this nice flowing little, or kind of big, but like a lake for her, or a pond, a body of water that is fed by her own vitality. So it's like this nice, beautiful body of water that's supposed to be her identity energy. But instead of that flowing body of water that's just for her, representing her identity energy, she has this like big icy rock instead, because there's too much resistance. Okay, so maybe that image works for you. Maybe you make up a different way of melting the resistance in your identity space. But maybe that's a nice image for you. So you imagine what should be this nice, pleasant body of water representing your identity energy that's just for you. And see, are there any rocks? Are there any big blocks of ice representing resistance and blocked energy? And just melt those away. And the more you melt those energy blocks, you know, maybe they look like rocks or big glaciers. The more you melt that away, the more flowing and the more, you know, identity water is in that body of water for you. Also, maybe denial could be part of the rocks in here. You know, denial wrapped up with resistance. Defensiveness. You know, maybe people accuse you of having problems, and so you're like, no, I don't have any problems. So just, you know, melt away all that hard stuff that's blocking up your identity energy and making you resist. And again, you want to do what's healthy and gentle to do right now. And you can say, angels, help me do this. And you can give a nice healing to your identity water, this nice body of water that's just for you, representing your identity energy. Just give it a nice healing with gold light. You can make the water gold, you can make it purple, you can make it really any rainbow color you want. But purple is a nice color for your 7th chakra, which helps with identity, so that could be an option. But just heal it with gold light and just melt away any hard stuff in there that represents stuck energy or resistance. All right, good job. So that was, we imagined a body of water representing your identity, and we melted away resistance. Out of your identity space, which can help lighten your mood. It can just help strengthen you on a 7th chakra level, which then helps with everything. Oh, redo your gold buffer zones. I didn't mention that before. It's a nice thing to do right after aura repair and just in general, whenever. You know, just make yourself a new set of gold buffers for your auras, for your regular auras, because they slow the rate of aura damage when people are throwing energy. The buffers can catch that junk, and then you just redo your buffers, your gold buffers. And there will be an 18-minute reference video that I link below in the comment section that teaches gold buffer zones. I'm looking at a sample person for a sec, so I'll be quiet. All right, so the sample person I was looking at, she's she wants positive change, but she imagines this version of her, that has already changed and is already, doing better. And she gets mad and resistant that she's not already like that. So she resists like that sort of baby step, one step at a time process that you do to create a larger change. I mean, you could create a bigger step forward, but she's imagining like even if she took big steps, it would be like her a year from now. And then she's giving herself a hard time that she's not already that person. And so she's in resistance about, the realities of change and progress. And, why isn't she already that much better now, So she's resisting like that a year from now is not now. She's resisting time. So, and I think that's actually, it's not just her, obviously. That's why the angels pointed it out to me. But I think for many people, it's probably a subconscious thing, where they can see incremental change in other people and validate that in other people, maybe, but in themselves, they're like, oh, I'm not making any progress, which is where they really are. They have this image of how they should be, and that's, not how they are today. And so they sort of rain on their own parade that way. So we're going to help you to not resist time and the realities of gradual progress. Ooh, so non-resistance with time. With time and with growth and with reality. So what are the energy blocks that could make you resist reality in that way? They could be like sort of perfectionist energy blocks, like feeling like maybe blocks in your heart chakra or your seventh, so you feel like you're never good enough, or maybe blocks in your first chakra that give you this anxiety of like, oh, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet, I'm not there yet, so whatever. They could be all sorts of places. So we don't have to worry about where they are. We're just gonna put them out in front and clear them. Okay, so just imagine piles of energy blocks that you have that make you be resistant to like how you are today and realities of incremental progress. Like how much positive action would it take you to make the change that you really want to make? So just whatever subconscious or conscious energy blocks are making you resist reality. Could be the reality of other people too, and how long it's going to take them to change. And just, all the energy blocks that you have that make you resist your progress, your reality, other people's reality, time itself, and what time it is, what day it is, what year it is. all the resistance to time and reality and incremental progress, and just all that, just ground it with maybe red earth energy from the core of the earth and gold light, and just melt it away with gold light. So again, we're melting away energy blocks that cause you to resist time, resist your reality, resist other people's reality, resist incremental progress and how that works. Ugh. And if you still have some left, just say, angels, help me clear these. And you may be impatient with yourself or impatient with others. So let's do that too. Blocks that cause you to be impatient with yourself or with others. So internal energy blocks that you have, just put them out in front of you, or put copies of them out in front of you, that cause you to be impatient with yourself or with others. And just melt those away with gold light. You could blow them up too if you want, if you're healing yourself. So you're blowing up or melting away with gold light energy blocks that cause you to be impatient with yourself or with other people. All right, and if you have any left over, just say, angels, help me clear these. So then let's do really all the stuff that we have been doing helps emotions, but let's do something that's, you know, more explicitly about emotions, which is healing inner wounds that cause, you know, emotional imbalances, and also clearing energy blocks that cause emotional imbalances. And emotional imbalances is sort of a dual concept. You could think about it that way, where there's your emotional baggage, but then there's also boundaries with other people's emotional baggage. Because sometimes you just take on other people's emotional baggage. Maybe you do it, you know, you take on a copy of their baggage and they didn't make you do it, or maybe they're kind of dumpers and they dumped emotional baggage in your space and you just kept it there rather than getting rid of it right away. So emotional wellness has to do with those two things: getting rid of your own, clearing your own junk, and not keeping other people's junk, right? So when we clear blocks, it'll be to help you on both those levels. Your own blocks, and then just getting rid of other people's blocks too. Okay, so first let's do inner wounds. And so just imagine slashes out in front of you that represent inner wounds that you can heal right now, so that you can have healthier emotions and healthier emotional boundaries with other people. So just imagine those inner wounds of yours and as slashes, and just use gold light so that they heal up and melt away. These inner wounds could be from past lives, they could be from this life, doesn't matter. Any inner wounds that you have that affect your emotional wellness and also your emotional boundaries with other people. And you're just using gold light to melt away, to heal and melt away these inner wounds that you have. All right, and then we'll go back and do more of that, but let's do clear energy blocks for the same reason. So you can make a big gold blanket out in front of you if you like that, or you don't have to have the blanket. But just put energy blocks out in front of you, either on the blanket or just in a pile. Put copies of energy blocks, or put the energy blocks, doesn't matter how you imagine it, but put blocks out in front of you that cause you to have less emotional wellness and or weaker emotional boundaries with other people's emotions. So any blocks that get in the way of your emotional wellness or your emotional boundaries with others. And you could blow all that up, or you can melt it with gold light. And again, if you're healing someone else, do not blow up their stuff. If you're healing yourself, you can blow up their stuff, of course. That's in your space. So you're melting away blocks that get in the way of your emotional wellness or your emotional boundaries with others. All right, good. So let's do another round of both of those. So imagine slashes out in front of you representing inner wounds that if you melt them, it's going to help you with your emotional wellness and your emotional boundaries. So imagine these inner wounds that are in the way of all that, and heal the inner wounds with gold light. So you imagine the slashes and you just run gold light through them so that they heal and melt away. And then again, with blocks, we'll do emotional blocks again. So this is the second time. Just out in front of you, big blanket if you want, or just make a pile without the blanket. But energy blocks that you have within any of your auras or chakras or wherever, in your grounding, wherever. Energy blocks that you have that get in the way of your emotional wellness or your emotional boundaries with others. And just go ahead and melt those away with gold light. If you have any left over, just say, angels, help me melt this away. All right, good. So that was 2 rounds of helping your emotions and your emotional boundaries by healing inner wounds and clearing energy blocks. Good job. Pat yourself on the back. If you want. So now we'll do something that I did discuss in the intro, where you can have parts of you that are least open to positive change. Those could be inner child parts. They could be from earlier in your adult life or from a past life. So you can have parts of you that are, it's you, it's your energy, but it's stuck. So it's not open to positive change. You heal those parts of you, and then they sort of dissolve, and you get that energy back. So it's not a separate resistant part of you, right? But you can also just have invasive beings that are a little more clever than the average one that just looks like a big hard rock. You know, there could be invasive beings that actually sort of pretend to be like a petulant part of you, or an angry part of you, or a sad part of you, but it's just a stupid being that doesn't want to leave your space. And so you just have your angels recycle those beings so that, you know, so sometimes, like, there was this person, oh, I'm integrating this 4-year-old part of me. Well, okay, yes, a lot happened when you were 4, but you also have some beings that are kind of pretending to be the wounded 4-year-old part of you. And so if you just recycle those beings, it'd be a lot easier. You wouldn't feel like there was such a giant chunk of you back there anymore. You'd just then be able to make progress more quickly. So let's do that. So we'll heal mini yous, mini parts of you that are most resistant to positive change. Or most stuck in negative patterns. But we will also get rid of invasive beings that are sort of perpetuating that, and maybe even posing as stuck parts of you, confusing you. So we'll do that first, the invasive being one, just because we didn't do that 2 days ago. We did the mini you parts, but we didn't get rid of beings that were just kind of trying to confuse you. So we'll do that first. So that was explaining, so now we'll do... So just reground first. Just imagine big wide grounding for yourself, red or orange or yellow. Clear everybody else out of your grounding. Unblock your grounding. And so go ahead and imagine parts of you that aren't, like, invasive beings that are good at pretending to be you. And just imagine all those invasive beings out in front of you. You could imagine them sort of like bad actors, you know, so they're pretending to be you, but it's like, yeah, right, you know, they're not you. you know, and just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? And your angels, you know, like, don't feel bad about it, because if your angels recycle them, it's because there's no good use for them at all, you know. Otherwise, your angels would just, you know, if it was like a well-intentioned spirit that was just, you know, lost and confused, your angels would take that spirit and heal them and, you know, put them on their way. So you can always make the request, it's fine. So again, line up any invasive beings that are sort of tricking you into thinking that you're more resistant than you are. You know, any beings that are pretending to be stuck parts of you. And just line all them up and just say, angels, can you please recycle all these beings? And just take some deep breaths while your angels do that for you. Maybe have some of your healthy beverage. Okay, so now we'll do actual parts of you that are either stuck in negative patterns or resistant to positive change, which is sort of the same thing. So these little mini yous, and just give them a healing with gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, and this isn't a group healing as in like super high risk to do. This is just parts of you, so it's just you're healing yourself. You're just imagining yourself as, well, these parts of you, these little mini stuck parts of you, and just give a healing to these parts of you with gold light. So again, these are parts of you that are not open to positive change, that do not want anything to change ever, even though it's positive. Just feel these parts of you. You can say it's okay, you deserve a healing. Lots of gold light. You can also say, angels, can you please heal these parts of me? So what happens is when these parts of you heal, they'll just dissolve and you get the energy back. So they're not separate anymore. And if that's not happening yet, you just say, angels, help me do this. And it could be that other people are cording these parts of you and sort of holding them stuck. So you could make sure that nobody's cording these little mini yous. Just melt away the cords going into this little mini you. All right, good job. Woo-woo. So that was two things. First, we had the angels recycle invasive beings that were pretending to be stuck parts of you, and got those out of the way. And then we healed little stuck parts of you that were resistant to change and or stuck in negative patterns, until they dissolved and you got your energy back and it's not stuck anymore. So we're going to be done relatively soon. I want to do a little bit of work on the major chakras. More. I mean, we did chakra repair already, and unblocking. But I want to do chakra filaments. I want to do magnetic alignment for chakras, alignment of the magnetic fields of the major chakras. So you can just imagine copies out in front of you of your major chakras. You have two sets of them: astral body 7 chakras, physical body 7 chakras. The chakras, they're not white though, but it's a nice shape to show you. So 7th chakra is oriented this way, and then, you know, so like round opening in the top, round opening in the bottom of it. And then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are oriented this way, so round opening in the front, round opening in the back, all the way down, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you can imagine copies out in front of you: 7, 6, 5, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Imagine that physical and astral separate at this time because we're going to be doing the filaments, and it's easier to see the filaments and unblock them. The filaments meaning the cords connecting astral to physical, if you imagine them separate. So go ahead and do that. Just run gold light and unblock a little extra. Well, a lot extra. These chakras, your major chakras. Somebody said they feel lonely, and they were talking about to their friends and discussing loneliness and this and that. Loneliness is blockages in the fourth chakra usually. Could be other damage elsewhere as well in the energy system, but fourth chakra blockage makes you feel lonely. And ironically, if you tell a lot of people that you feel lonely, or you tell a lot of people, you know, issues that you're having, you could get even more people's energy in your fourth chakra, and then you feel even more lonely. So whether or not you tell people about, you know, your issues with them, whatever, you know, getting more and more flow for your fourth chakra makes you feel less lonely, makes you feel more upbeat, positive, motivated, inspired, grateful, warm and fuzzy and comforted, that kind of thing. So again, just unblock your fourth. So now that we have the copies out in front, it's very easy to do, right? So fourth chakra, just unblock extra to clear blocks that are creating loneliness, blocks that are creating insecurity, resentment, lack of motivation. If you need to know what chakra does what, you know, which chakra is for confidence, which is for this, which is for that, I do have an email handout on chakras that's free. You know, it's a 2-page email attachment I could send you, no problem, if you email me and ask for it. My email is janet@janetwrightreadings.com. Just say, hi, can I have the free 2-page chakra handout? So then the filaments, go ahead and heal and unblock those. Of course, melt cords going into anywhere here, into the chakras, into the filaments, cords from other people. The only cord that I would say keep is going to your first chakra. Probably physical first chakra. To your kids, young kids, not older kids, just 13 years and younger. First chakra cord for your physical first to their physical first. But otherwise, you can melt all the cords anywhere. And as you heal and repair and unblock your filaments, connecting astral to physical major chakras, definitely melt cords there too. So these filaments, they'd be like a tube, a nice flowy tube that has like a river in it. So you repair the tube if needed, melt cords going into it if needed, and just unblock it with gold light so that it's a nice flowy river inside a nice flowy tube. And I'm just doing a little extra with 2 and 1. Second chakras and first chakras. Physical chakras, beneath the first chakra, there's a Kundalini chakra. So you could imagine that and unblock and heal that a little bit extra. There's only a physical Kundalini chakra because it's a body thing. Anyway, so astral and physical second is for emotions. That's the one that's most relevant to emotions. So with that second chakra filament, you want really nice flow. Let it expand enough so you get enough flow. Orange is a nice color for the second chakras if you want. So you can set your second chakras to a nice shade of orange and your second chakra filament. Unblock it with gold light. And your first chakra and your first chakra filament. All right, and then you can imagine the astral chakras inside the physical chakras, astral 7 inside the physical 7 chakras. And go ahead, check your chakra alignment, because they can be sort of like, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Obviously, that's an extreme case. But they can be off, so get your 7th where you want it, just with your intention, and then put gold light through the others so that they click into alignment with your 7th chakra. And, if you're just jumping here, doing chakra alignment, been doing chakra alignment for about a minute already. But anyway, a minute or two. But we already did chakra repair and unblocking. But if you haven't done that yet, that would be a good idea to do if you need chakra repair. But anyway, chakra alignment is what we're doing now. We're just running gold light through the chakras. And if you can't see, and you can't imagine, you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing, just use a really wide band of gold light so that in case one chakra is out of alignment over here, the wide band of gold light will get to it anyway. So use a really wide band of gold light through your major chakras so that if any of them are out of alignment, you're still running gold light through them and they pop back into alignment. Okay, so that's regular chakra alignment. And then magnetic alignment. You imagine the magnetic field around each of these major chakras. And it's like a misty gold cube. And the gold cube is not always centered around the chakra. I mean, ideally it would be, but it's not always. So like, for example, here's your 5th and your 4th chakra. Those have now been aligned, so they're in a straight up and down line, but then the magnetic field of one is over here, the magnetic field of the other is over here. So again, use that wide band of gold light, and with your intention, you're running it through the magnetic fields of these major chakras. And the more you do that, then the magnetic fields center around the chakra. And they click together. And these magnetic fields, and it makes your aura stronger, which is nice. So you're using a nice wide band of gold light, and you're running it through the magnetic fields of your major chakras so that if any are out of alignment, they'll pop back into alignment. And do a little extra with the lower chakras, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so that was chakra alignment and magnetic alignment. Well, first it was chakra filaments, unblocking and repairing, and then chakra alignment, and then magnetic alignment of chakras. Magnetic alignment of the magnetic fields of the chakras. It's always easier to do it than it is to explain. I'm just checking to see if the issues have been resolved that I was looking at. So I'm going to do a quick extra before we wrap up, but then we'll wrap up. So with your shoulders, you know, you can have like your muscles can knot up if you've ever gotten a massage or something, or you do it just in yourself and you feel like, oh, I have a muscle knot, you know, or oh, a muscle knot, you know, it's like you feel the smoothness and then you'll feel something that's kind of like weird. It just is like a bump and it's not a bone, you know. So that's a knot in your muscle. So energetically, a lot of times, maybe not all the time, but probably most of the time, when you have a muscle knot, you have energy objects stuck there. And then it affects the energy flow, which affects your physical body. So you can have little hard spears. So around, if you're, say your muscles are knotted like right around here or right around here or right around here, you may have like 25 spears, you know, from like 5 different people, and then, you know, 10 from past lives, you know. And so you just are patient and you just keep melting the, you know, removing them, giving them to your angels, and then, you know, keep healing with gold light. If you feel more, keep removing more hard objects, keep healing. And sometimes you can have invasive beings that just hang out there because there was so much junk you weren't that present there. So then if there's something that's kind of just hogging up the space, just say, angels, if there are any beings right there, can you recycle them? And then just keep going, keep removing hard objects, keep using gold light, keep recycling, keep asking your angels to recycle invasive beings from there. So we'll do a little bit of that right now. Around your neck and your shoulders, in front and back and top of your shoulders, and your upper back and your lower back. Okay, obviously you could have muscle knots anywhere, but you can do those on your own. Okay, cool. So we will remove hard objects from muscle knots. We'll remove hard objects, invasive beings, and invasive beings from muscle knots. But it's mostly hard objects. All right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So just imagine a copy out in front of you, kind of like this of AccuDoll, you know, just imagine a mini you of your neck, your shoulders, and your upper and lower back. And just imagine all the hard objects, like little, like porcupine, you know, like you're a porcupine and you have all this stuff sticking out of you, you know, especially like, you know, of course, where there are muscle knots. So imagine the hard objects or devices that are in your muscle knots areas. And just use lots of sticky gold wax. And I mean, you can remove them with your hands, surround them with gold light and just remove them. But in the interest of time, we're probably gonna do sticky gold wax a lot to get rid of a whole bunch at once. So just use sticky gold wax in your neck, sides of your neck, back of your neck, your upper body, base of your skull too. Your shoulders, your upper back, your lower back. And again, we're gonna just lift out all the spiky hard objects and any hard objects there. So just that are healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. So just lift out the wax and the hard objects all at once. Angels, here you go. And I just use lots of gold light in that area. And just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in these areas, in and around my muscle knots, anywhere near any of my muscle tension areas, can you please recycle those beings? And then again, more gold wax to stick to the hard objects that are in or near these muscle knot areas that you have, and just have the sticky gold wax stick to those hard objects. Again, lower skull, neck, shoulders, upper back, lower back, and just lift out the wax to lift out the hard objects and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And they use lots of gold light and heal up where those hard objects were. And again, to angels, if there are any invasive beings or invasive people anywhere near any of this stuff, can you remove it for me? If there are any invasive beings, can you have them recycled? And a couple deep breaths into that area. The base of your skull, your shoulders, your upper and lower back. And maybe do a little stretching of that area. Sometimes you will feel a little extra soreness just because you're more present there, but you can, keep removing more of those hard spiky objects. We'll do it one more time. So sticky gold wax in lower skull, neck, shoulders, upper back, lower back. Have the wax stick to all the spiky hard objects that are good to get rid of right now. And lift out the wax and the objects. Angels, here you go. And then gold light in all those places so they mend up. They heal up. All right, so redo your gold buffers. Redo your grounding, red or orange or yellow. Let's do stebs. So just put out in front of you any stubborn triggered energy blocks that are still haven't cleared because they're so stubborn, most likely because somebody's courting them. So any energy blocks that are making you feel uncomfortable in any way right now, either consciously or subconsciously, and just put them out in front of you, ground them with red earth energy from the center of the earth, and use gold light, melt the cords going into these energy blocks, and then melt the energy blocks. Or blow them up if you're healing yourself. Okay, one more time. Stubborn triggered energy blocks, any energy blocks that are making you feel uncomfortable on any level, consciously or subconsciously, just put them out in front of you. Use gold light and red earth energy and melt the cords going into them, and then melt the energy blocks. If there have any left over, just say, angels, can you help me clear these? And then as we wrap up, you can just say, angels, can you please give me a healing? Angels, can you please help me end my negative patterns? Angels, can you help me manifest positive change? Angels, can you help me clear my emotional baggage? All right, good job, good job. We did it. That's a healing. You're amazing. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, so I'm going to set my timer. This one's going to be a little faster than usual just because the healing went for a long time. So I'm going to set my timer for like 12 minutes. If I don't get to your comment, please just repost it under any video at any time, and I will post a reply when I can under your comment. Right, catching up on the old comments. If you have any comments about what this healing was like for you, you could post that now. And also, if you have any questions, follow-up questions about what I said today, like ending negative patterns or about positive change. And just a heads up, of course, there's one more healing for this triplet set on Tuesday in 2 days. And then there's a set of 2 healings later this month, the twin set on the 22nd and 20th and 22nd, which is also on ending negative patterns and creating positive change. Let's see. Someone says hello from Evergreen, Colorado. A little warmer today, 36 degrees and cloudy. I think I read that one, maybe. Yeah, that is cold. Someone says hello from rainy and stormy Holland. Well, hello to you. Hello, hello. Someone says hello from Phoenix. Wonderful weather in the high 50s here. That's nice. You mentioning your name. Thank you for healing me and my spouse. Yes. You're welcome, of course. Someone says, I've been seeing a black wall on my path repeatedly for the past couple of weeks, even though I've been trying to clear it repeatedly. It eased up after the last healing. Any advice is welcome. Well, I think it was 2 different things. I think you had a being that kept making a wall, but then you also had a person in your life who kept throwing stuff on your path that looked like a black wall. So it was like sometimes it was one thing, sometimes it was the other, sometimes it was both. So yeah, I mean, if it stopped totally forever since the last healing, I think you still have a being that you could get rid of. Just look for any invasive beings that make big walls on your path. Because it seems like this being doesn't show up on your path. He just throws objects and stays away, so you don't really notice the being. So any beings that are at all blocking up your path, even from afar, and just line up all those and say, Angels, can you please recycle them? All right. Someone says, thanks so much for the healing, Janet. Feeling pretty mellow now, but still a little on edge. You wrote this comment pretty early, so I'm hoping the Stubbs took care of it. I think I got whacked hard Friday night and did repair up my damage, but maybe not enough. Also, how did my siblings do today? They've been extra intense lately. You know, they're interesting. They seem to want to cord your first layer and your grounding. Kind of like that you're their mom. So you could look at what agreements you have with them on a spirit level. It could be that it seems kind of like you guys decided that your mom was a little like unreliable or unstable, and so you guys made agreements to take care of each other that were sort of not totally clean agreements, you know. So you made agreements to like be in each other's groundings and each other's second and first chakras and kundalini chakras. So just line up any agreements that you have with your siblings that are not healthy, and you can just melt them with gold light and have your angels check them. So I think that's what's going on. Someone says, hi Janet, thanks for the healing. Sorry to say I've been super irritable and cranky, especially before the healing this morning. I feel like I can't properly heal my cracked lower chakras. Yeah, you know what's funny? I mean, probably not funny when it's happening to you, but interesting funny maybe. In a geeky way, but you can have a being that is wrapped around all your major chakras. So when you're trying to get rid of them, they're really good at creating other symptoms that are very distracting, so that, you know, you don't end up getting rid of them. So you're thinking, well, yeah, I have cracks in 2 and 1, so there must be some beings right there that I got to remove because my repair isn't fully working. And but the beings that are there are also weaved up and down all your chakras. So it's like you try to get rid of them and then they yank themselves back because they're still in the rest of the place. So just like imagine all your chakras at once, imagine far away at once, and just look at, okay, where are the blobs? The blobs go up and down, or they're just right here. You know, if they're just right here, that's easy. You know, you just ask your angels to recycle them. But if they're in, there are some extras, I think, that you're missing, basically is what I'm trying to say, that are in all your chakras. And then a couple extra that are like partially in your chakras and partially far away that you're missing too. You're making progress, but yeah, there are extra beings that are in all your chakras, so just have them recycled, and then the far away beings that are still cording, have them recycled, and then you should be able to finish up and do the, you know, repair the cracks. I mean, now they're fully repaired, but then, you know, once your mom starts doing her karate kick from behind thing that she does, and somebody else in your workplace starts doing it, they'll probably crack again. So, you know, get rid of the beings so it'll be easier. So I hope that helps. So this says, hi Janet, I was healing myself. I caught a cold and was wondering why I get more frequent colds than my husband every year. Thank you. I mean, that's sort of a physical thing, I think. You know, it could be Wei Chi auras, but it also could be things like you're more reactive to dairy than he is, and so the dairy blocks up your lung area. You know, traditional Chinese medicine, you know, all those meridians and stuff, he could have some stronger meridians that regulate his lungs than you do. Stronger meaning better flowing. But, you know, every body is different, you know, so I would just say use your intuition. Do you need certain supplements for your immune system? Do you need to not eat certain foods to help your respiratory system? Like, you know, go easy on a lot, like stop all dairy except for, you know, butter. I'm in love with butter. But butter doesn't block me up, but other dairy does. So like I'm really sparing on cheese, like if it's not like the middle of summer. Like I'll just have like, I'll have a slice of it on like a hamburger, but sparingly, you know, like only once in a while. But anyway, so just think about food and immune system, like what do you need to not take into your body and what do you need to take into your body extra. But don't really get stuck on that, okay, your husband gets them and you don't, or vice versa. I mean, it's just what do you need for your immune system. Okay, hope that helps. Someone says, thank you for healing me. I did relate on not making progress or feel guilty that I want more. Yeah. When I am stable, healthy, and have my angels. Resistance with moving up in life. How did I do with this part? Well, yeah, you did well, but keep working it. The thing about, you know, year from now versus now, and you know, you get caught up in that. Definitely keep working that. It's a good one for you to work on. Someone says, you healed me and my spouse. Yes, I am working to heal my personal power. Please guide on any progress impediment. Thank you very much. I would say personal power, maybe for now, right now, it might be more constructive to think of it as like forward momentum, you know, and what's in the way of my forward momentum, you know, so you think of yourself on your path and how fast am I moving forward and what's like slowing me down? Am I dragging stuff? Am I, you know, is something just, you know, making my path like weirdly complicated, you know, so think of forward momentum. I think that maybe is a little more constructive for what you're aiming at. So yeah, so unblock your spiritual path. Look at how fast you're moving forward. Are you dragging stuff? Is there stuff cluttering your path? Yeah. Someone says, oof, wow, the resistance to time is definitely me. I felt nauseous during this clearing and heartache. Yeah, so yeah, keep working that. Yeah, keep working that. Nauseous and heartache. So nauseous, third chakra, heartache, fourth chakra. So just you can unblock, you can alternate between doing that exercise of non-resistance with time and also third chakra and fourth chakra healing and fourth chakra and third chakra filament, unblocking. So fourth and third filament, and then do that more, that resistance to time, that resistance to growth and reality. So it says, Janet, great healing. I really liked the clearing of emotional blocks and wounds and work on that regularly. And you mentioned other people getting the healing. How are they doing with this healing set? Your friend, she's funny. She has very on and off progress with it. She'll stop for a second. She'll be like, I don't know that I want to do all that. And then she'll try some and she'll be like, oh, this feels really good. And then she'll do a whole bunch. But I think that's more of like the way she does things in general. She doesn't really put both feet in and keep going with it as far as like progress and positivity and all that. But she does keep trying it, but she'll have that hold off period of like, I don't know about that. It could be, if she gets more healing, she'll kind of get with the program and she'll kind of understand and get, I don't think it's that she doesn't trust me as a healer, even though she hasn't gotten many healings. It's just that, yeah, she doesn't really trust this whole positivity idea. So my timer went off, which means I need to end very quickly. Your sister-in-law did well. Yeah, she had pretty consistent progress the whole time. The four walls thing is really big for her. She has a lot of mostly past life negative patterns that she's stuck in. So she's going to keep working on that with her angels. So I got to get through a couple more things here. But then if I don't get to your comment, please repost it under a video. And I will post my reply when I have time. So this is, hi Janet, am I one of the impatient people? Sure, yeah. I think I continue to take baby steps for all I want, but I do feel impatient on waiting for others at times. Is this blocking me? Yeah, I think, keep working in patience. That could be nice for you. Yeah, I do think that's a good one for you. Keep clearing energy blocks causing impatience. Yeah, sometimes future vision and future intuition can cause impatience because you see what eventually someone could do, or you see what they could be, or you see where they're headed, but you want it now. So yeah, just keep clearing energy blocks about that. Someone says, hi Janet, well hello to you. Someone says, analysis paralysis, LOL, is still stubborn and not clearing for me. Question mark. Thank you, Janet. Well, I think you just need to keep working on it. Part of that could be also, we didn't do it this time, but another way to clear confusion and that mental analysis thing is to work your fifth chakra, fifth layer, unblock that more, especially in the back, and then heal the telepathic mesh, because sometimes you're receiving other people's communication in your fifth layer and it just jumbles up and makes your own thoughts really jumbled. So that's something you could add to it. So I mean, for you, when you're thinking like that and it's not clearing and you have done your basics, there's something you've missed. Like sometimes it's like big wax in the front of your auras right here, and then so your lower chakras are really fielding a lot, so you're not in like say 2 and 1 at the moment. So there's something with your fundamentals that's not quite right a lot of times when your mind is looping. Someone says, even though I've been sick, I feel great already. Oh, good. From the healing, hopefully. Thank you so much. I've been working on lower layers, inner aura layers, and inspired to meditate more. Oh, that's nice. How am I doing? Any insights, homework are appreciated. That 4 walls exercise, your angels especially like that one, and also commitment to self and commitment to others, and keep healing that and rebalancing that, which we did in this healing, but we also did it in the Friday healing, so either version of it. But yeah, the 4 walls and the rebalancing commitment to self and commitment to others. So it says, thank you for the healing. Where can I focus on for more energy work till Tuesday? I think you mean like when you're healing yourself, I suppose. You could do that safe bomb exploding chamber. Keep doing that. Definitely have it be an auto turn off when you've done enough, but keep doing that, like to clear more debs, deep repressed energy blocks back there, and also stebs, stubborn triggered ones. Just have your auto load, safe bomb exploding chamber, and just keep exploding energy blocks. And for those of you who don't know, safe bomb exploding chamber, it's just a gold little square device that you make that blows things up inside it. And so you just put the yuckiest, grossest, most interconnected energy blocks you have in there and let them blow up inside. Someone says hi from Tokyo. Hello to you. My shoulders feel lighter. Oh, good. I'm glad. Good. Someone says, I wish that you take some time to do some healing for yourself. Well, thank you. I do. Someone says, neck and shoulders feel amazing. Oh, good. I'm hoping that you mean, well, you also mean from the first healing, but I don't know if you typed that comment after we did the stuff at the end where we removed the hard objects from the muscle knot areas. But you can let me know in your survey too how that was for you. Someone says, I really related to the impatient to be who I want to be resistance. LOL, thank you for the healing. I feel great. Oh, good. Yeah, that one worked for a lot of people. It's funny. It's funny because you think, oh, that's so silly. You want to be who you're going to be a year from now, but it's it's a thing. To be patient with the realities of how growth and progress work. Someone says, yay, thank you so much. Thank you for healing me and your partner. I feel great. How did each of us do? Any questions on where to put my focus? You both did great. To put your focus, I would say that commitment to self and commitment to others, keep healing that. Also, chakra filaments. You could do a little bit more unblocking on like chakra filaments 4 through 1. Yeah, but really, the techniques in this healing do seem to work really well for you. So any of it, if you want to repeat it, would be good as well. So it says, a lot of energy vampires here. Hopefully you just mean in life, or around you, probably. Well, yeah, invasive people exist. I mean, when you think about it, most people don't know about aura repair or chakra repair or grounding or any of that. So even if they did want to do it, I mean, even if, like, say their intention is to be a good person or their intention is to be a healthy person, if their energy is all beat up, then they have invasive energy in them that causes them to be a real pain in the butt to everyone around them. It's just a mess. But fortunately, you can heal yourself and get stronger and stronger and stronger. So it's not your problem. Okay, someone says, thanks, Janet, about clearing sibling agreements and potential damage I have. I did make that comment too early, and I do feel way better now. Oh, good to know, yeah. Stabs helped a lot, and I feel the OCD flare up less, thanks. Yeah, you should, like, always clear stabs, because it's always stabs for you that helps you at the end of the healing. Sometimes it's like, I know that you need stabs, but no, most people don't, and so we don't do it, but I always know you need stabs. So if it's not in the healing, do it yourself. because I gotta do, I have to think of what is time efficient and what most people need. So it says, hey Janet, you should give the option for people to pay you. Well, in fact, that option exists. Funny you mentioned that. And I didn't even ask you to do it. Yeah, on my website, there is a tip function on my website. I don't like putting that option within YouTube because then YouTube wants a cut. And then you're financially dependent on YouTube, for an income stream, which I don't really like. So yeah, it's on my website though. There's a page that JanetWrightReadings.com. There's a page that says, session purchase, themes and dates for sessions or something. And that's where you would buy sessions when they're available on the 15th each month. But there's also a tip, for whatever reason you feel like you want to pay me. I definitely make that easy. So yeah. Oh, please give this live stream a thumbs up if you would. Anybody wants to. If you like the live stream, it does help more people find the video, which helps more people heal themselves. And so there are less invasive people in the world, more happy people. All right. So I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I enjoyed it myself. And part 3 of 3 will be in 2 days on Tuesday. And the schedule for the rest of November and December is on my website, JanetWrightReadings.com. Soon I will be coming up with the schedule for all of 2023 all at once, all the dates and themes for that. And when I do, I'll email my news email list, all those dates and themes for the year, in case you just like knowing ahead of time. And I'll post them on my website as well. And if you want to get news emails like that, just email me and ask to be on my news email list. My email is janet@janetwrightreadings.com. Okay, well, I will show you 2 of my dogs. The third one in that carrier right there, it's a big process to get her ready, so I'll just get her out of her carrier after I stop filming this time. But here we go. So here is Izzy right there, making mischief, licking stuff on the floor, which will make him not feel well, and then that's my problem. But then there's Abel right there. Abel. Abel's confused. There we go. There's Abel. Izzy's licking the floor, of course. That's Abel. So he has a cone on because he has some allergies. But anyway, okay. Bye. You guys are amazing. Take care.